So today, yeah, we had some announcements about 6.3, right. Tomb Kings are getting some stuff. Not really anything for multiplayer, but single-player campaign reworks for Tomb Kings, kind of some sprucing up there. Lizardmen as well are getting some upgrades, but today we're going to celebrate with the Duel of the Golden Face. That is High Queen Khalida versus Balthazar Gelt of the Empire, and it is Inkars versus Rider Rohan. Let's take a look at the builds. For Khalida, she's just Tomb Strike, and she did take Venom Staff. Wow, interesting choice. Interesting. I mean, Camarine War Sphinx, Necropolis Knights as well. We've got Skeleton Horse Archers for a nice right flank overload, and then through the center, it's going to be Skeletons, Skeleton Warriors, Skeleton Spears. We've got a Light Lich Priest. And then Pistoliers, yes, love me some Pistoliers from Rider of Rohan. He's got Knights of the Blazing Sun as well, 3 of them, couple of Great Cannons, and some Archers with Balthazar Gelt, Spearmen, and some Halberdiers in the back. Balthazar is going to be rocking just Final Transmutation, so interesting choice for sure. One thing to note, Tomb King's, Lords being weak to fire is an interesting interaction, certainly with the Empire, given that Rider Rohan didn't do so here, but one thing you can do is, say, take a Warrior Priest with Banner of Eternal Flame, park him in the middle of these 2 cannons to give both flaming attacks, then cast Fireball to give yourself Kindle Flame as well, and then just shoot all those things at the Tomb King Lord. Something you can do. It's very rude, but it certainly is possible. That being said, we do have Knights of Blazing Sun at the very least here. Yeah, infantry-wise, I mean, I guess the Kepler Guard are weak to fire damage, and Knights of Blazing Sun just in general high charge, high damage. Let's see. Ooh. They're kind of trying to find the right target to charge in on right now. Rider Rohan kind of skirting along the side there, not really taking a full engagement, but just collapsing the flank here, managing to draw multiple mobility units into an absolutely devastating engagement. Over on the left side, a big Final Transmutation in the center as well, hits High Queen Khalida and some of her cavalry for pretty good damage. I mean, she's the main target of that, obviously, but then Knights of Blazing Sun over here kind of get drawn way out of position, chasing some Skeleton Horse Archers, and the Necropolis Knights, Camarine War Sphinx will be able to come in and punish them very heavily. The cannons are also trying to finish off the Lich Priest right now, which is definitely a choice. Yeah, right now, have the protection in place. Skeleton Horsemen are able to find a gap and get through, charge down the cannon crew. Halberdiers are forced to respond, and just going to take the cannon offline momentarily, but really the cannons, in my opinion, should be focused on these Necropolis Knights. The Lich Priest of Light here, he's just got Shem's Burning Gaze. He's going to get some value, but he's so cheap, and he's on foot, so he's a pretty small target. Yeah, Necropolis Knights are absolutely... they're going to be a problem for the Knights of the Blazing Sun, and just in general a powerful unit. So here, they're able to charge in. There's no halberd screen for this cannon. Halberds are forced to respond, and it's not going to save. Multiple cannon models actually detonating there, and the crew being absolutely savaged. That being said, speaking of savage, the Knights of the Blazing Sun here are doing some pretty major work, just crushing various elements of the Tomb King's army. We got multiple rear charges in play, and just in general, skeletons being absolutely pummeled en masse. We got Spearmen also over here. One more Knights of the Blazing Sun there. What is this? One of these has got to be an Empire Knight, right? No, all 4 Knights of the Blazing Sun. Wow, it's quite a cavalry spend. I respect it. Even if I think maybe I would have gone with Kindle Flame instead. Just taking maybe like an Archlector Lord or something super cheap. I don't know. Anyway, Final Transmutation, popping on the Camarine War Sphinx here. And that will do some pretty good damage. Oh yeah, the Necropolis Knights here kind of in the path of the routing. Knights of Blazing Sun is quite unfortunate, even if they didn't have a necessary chase order. But Pistoliers moving through. Got this Necropolis Knight here, continuing to cause problems for the Knights of Blazing Sun there. And yeah, one thing for Rider Rohan, the Final Transmutation's not really doing any damage to either of the Necropolis Knights. I think will come back to haunt him And Cars has been doing a good job of keeping his high-value targets spread out, so they're not all within range to get hit by one final transmutation. That is often a mistake players will make, and it leads to pretty devastating results. That being said, Balthazar's getting real risky with it. He charges down here, manages to kind of distract momentarily the Necropolis Knights, but a lot of the Empire army's been torn to shreds. We do have here a handful, at least, of Knights doing okay. They managed to crumble out this Necropolis Knight, and like this Skeleton Warrior also should be done pretty soon, which means War Sphinx is out here on its own. Granted, Knights Blazing Sun aren't the best unit for punishing that, but he does have some Pistoliers here to get some okay armor-piercing damage, some decent armor-piercing damage, certainly. And, yeah, finish off kind of some of these support units here. The Halberds are doing an admirable job of holding the center, and the one Knight here supporting as well has managed to help them kind of win out in some engagements. So yeah, maybe the Halberdiers will be able to contribute, but this one very healthy Necropolis Knight has me considerably worried for the Empire's chances of victory here. Let's see, a nice little get on those Skeleton Horse Archers, and more Shem's Burning Gaze. Yeah, he hits a couple of weakened unit models there and finishes them off, but nothing too crazy. With the charge animation, Knights Blazing Sun are fast enough to keep up with those Skeleton Horse Archers and chase them down and finish them off. War Sphinx here as well is really having some Pistolier problems. The Pistoliers plus the Knights plus brave Balthazar himself using his charge bonus from his Pegasus. Get down on the ground here and try and do some attack animations as well. Maybe even force this Cameron War Sphinx into crumbling. Really probably wishing I had Plague of Rust right now. That would be excellent synergy for these Pistoliers to get even more damage. But alas, not this time. And Necropolis Knights do reinforce here and finish off these Knights of Blazing Sun. Halberdiers also getting terror routed. What's actually causing terror? They don't know. There's no way they're close enough to the War Sphinx to get terror routed by it, right? Right? Surely something else has terror? I don't know. Anyway. This cannon crew is alive somewhere as well. If they're able to come in and get back, yeah, it does look like they're moving back on their artillery pieces. That will be huge. Be able to get a couple volleys on Khalida maybe, or on these Necropolis Knights to help finish them off. Yeah, unfortunately, despite all the damage done to the War Sphinx, it does kind of manage to recover itself here. A lot of these units pulling back, and the Pistoliers having to run at this point, as most of the Knights have been destroyed. But Balthazar being, once again, very brave. Battle Wizard, indeed. He charges down, gets a couple of attacks. And the War Sphinx is likely not going to recover from this crumbling. But will Balthazar get caught here and be forced to use his Pistoliers to screen the Necropolis Knights? Ooh, it looks like the Necropolis Knights maybe bypassed him. Ooh, let's see. This is a big surround potential here. He really needs to path out in whatever direction he can. Ooh, maybe he has an attack order on them? I'm actually not sure at this point. But regardless, Balthazar is in pretty extreme danger. The War Sphinx at least will crumble out, unless something really terrible happens. Khalida, meanwhile, getting caught by the Knights of the Blazing Sun is like equally as bad as Balthazar getting caught by the Knights of the Blazing Sun, although she has a lot less capacity to escape all these flaming attacks in a surround, even though they're not really a lot of damage. Ooh, gotta be careful with those friendly fire cannon shots as well. But the cannon does get back online, and is going to start shelling the Lich Priest at point-blank range. Will actually be able to make probably some pretty good hits on him. Ooh, he's going to Shem's Burning Gaze at point-blank range. Only kills one crewman. Wow, okay. I mean, just from a balance of powers perspective, you do want to eliminate that caster, and it does look like with a couple of cannon shots he's down. Skeleton Spears do manage to just about make contact. Red Rohan again just dropping the cannons and pulling the crew back, try and keep them in the fight. Pistoliers here fighting. Oh yeah, missing the true duel of the low tier skirmish cavalry here as the Pistoliers fight their undead counterparts before being rear charged very rudely by Necropolis Knights here, ending the beautiful duel. One unit of Knights also rallying to the cause, only about 1,000 HP there though, so looking pretty grim. Yeah, Balthazar, I'd imagine, does not have the Winds of Magic left for one more Final Transmutation, or maybe he does, and he's just waiting to line up for one big Final Transmutation to try and hit all these units, in particular, mostly High Queen Khalida and the Necropolis Knights all at the same time. But let's fast forward a little bit through this pursuit in-game phase. As Ryder gets Balthazar back up in the air, he's going to continue cycle charging, bringing all his units together. The cannon crew desperately trying to get back on the cannon, see if they can get any more useful shots onto some of these higher value targets. And it's almost worth taking this engagement like away from the cannon a little bit, in my opinion, if at all possible. But it does look like the cannon crew gets the shoot order, but these skeleton horse archers, oh, surely they're going to charge the cannon crew, right? Right? Oh, I don't actually think they had a charge order on the cannon crew, but enough of the unit models may get interrupted that they'll probably just attack them anyway. Ooh, let's see. Yeah, the terror's taking hold here. What's causing terror? Oh, it's the Tomb Strike. That's right. That's right. I've long forgotten this ability can actually cause terror when active. Oh, that's devastating for the Empire. That leads to all their support units just immediately going to the hills, and yeah, the cannon crew gets run down as well, and then it's all over. Rohan trying his best to help Balthazar take the win here, but it's just too much for old Gelt to handle by himself. It'll be a victory for the Tomb Kings, a very close one at that, but wow. Wow, excuse me. Yeah. Kalita actually doesn't get that much value in and of herself. It's the Necropolis Knights, one in particular, that gets some really nice value. And then, yeah, the Skeleton Horse Archer is also able to do a reasonably decent job. Surprising how little actually value went to the Tomb King's build in general, given that they actually won. I guess one Skeleton Horseman as well gets pretty good value there. The Lich Priest, honestly, don't think it needed any cannon shots to begin with. And I do think had Ryder Rohan been able to get just a couple of volleys, maybe it wouldn't take much, but a few solid volleys on the Necropolis Knights, and probably would have had a cascading effect of having more Knights available in the late game. And anyway, it's easy for me to sit here and say that, but just from a target priority perspective, this Lich Priest I don't think needed any shooting. He's not really going to do much, as he showed. But the Knights of the Blazing Sun, yeah, a little bit of a mixed bag. Not any of them quite get over 1,000 damage value, which is what you'd want to see from such a high damage cavalry. The Skirmish of the Empire was decent. I mean, the Pistoliers paid for themselves, and one of the cannons did an okay job. Balthazar also very cost-effective with his AoE damages, given how cheap he is, but just an interesting one. Like I said, I probably would have changed this composition a little bit to include... I mean, it's just tough because Balthazar is so cheap, right? So to take any other Lord plus a Bright Wizard is going to probably cost more, so you probably have to cut, like, maybe one Knight of Blazing Sun. Maybe cut one cannon as well. Hard to say, really, that you got some good skirmish options there. But definitely a fun one for sure, and I appreciate the excellent Pistolier plays. So hopefully you do as well. If you do, be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification every time I upload a new video. You'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.